Here we will demonstrate the core features of Magellan's Return to Route or RTR Broom Navigation software. I'll go ahead and select one of the sample routes that we created. We also added a new feature called Auto Broadcast Route. As soon as I select a route, the RTR Broom software will check in with Route Manager to see if anyone has driven this route in the past 12 hours. Here you see this pop-up notification saying that this route has been completed in the past 12 hours. Or in the case if the route was only driven to, let's say, 75%, I can go ahead and start off right where the driver left off. I'm going to go ahead and select Create New Route anyways, and this will start my route over at 0% complete.
In 0.1 miles, continue straight, North Gary Avenue. Reminder to tank up. Approaching the current route.
I'll go ahead and pause it here for a second. So here the first thing you'll notice is that on the left side we have your street side sweeping icon. On the street side sweeping icon, if the right side of the street needs to be swept, then the right side of this icon will be highlighted in magenta. If the left side of the street needs to be swept, then the left side of this icon will be highlighted in magenta. And on the bottom of this icon, it represents the next segment that needs to be treated. In this case, we're going to treat the upcoming segment, which is going to be on the right side. If the upcoming segment was going to be on the left side, then you'll see an L displayed on the left side of the bottom of the street icon. And on the very top right, we see a leaf icon, which we'll get into later, and that is used for override mode, leaf mode, and dump mode. I'll go ahead and resume it.
Approaching the current route. Starting the current route. Continue straight, North Gary Avenue, then turn right.
On the street side icon, you have your distance for your current segment, as well as a parking violation vehicle counter. So when the driver encounters a vehicle that's blocking the progress, he'll be able to tap on the street side icon and select the number of vehicles that are blocking. This will then report back to Route Manager, and it'll also reset at every segment. So once I complete this right side treatment, the vehicle counter will reset back to 0 at each segment. Now here I'll go ahead and select the vehicle counter and add 2 vehicles that are blocking progress.
In 0.1 miles, continue straight, North Gary
And you also
Avenue,
notice that we have the blue travel route along with a diamond icon at the end of this road here. The diamond icon will display at the start of every sweeping segment. So the driver has the option or the discretion, right, to
North
either
Gary
follow the blue
Avenue,
travel route,
then turn right.
or if it's legal, he can perform a U-turn and come back and begin treating the south side of Gary Avenue. You can see here that the percentage went up to 16% complete as we finished the first part of the first segment. And here I'm just going to go ahead and perform a U-turn to treat the right side of South Gary Avenue.
Treatment.
You'll also notice that on the bottom of the street side sweeping icon, there is now an L to indicate that the following segment will be swept on the left side of the road, as well as our vehicle counter reset back down to 0. I'm going to speed up the video. And here I'll just go ahead and perform a U-turn.
In 0.1 miles, turn right, Glencrest Street, left side treatment.
And now you'll see that on the street side sweeping icon, the left side is now highlighted,
in 0.5
followed
miles,
by the next segment, which is also on the left
North
side.
Gary Avenue, then
The
turn
parking
right.
violation counter or vehicle counter will also move with the highlighted street side. Here I'll go ahead and add 2 more vehicles to the counter. So here you'll notice the pop-up notification for complete or not completed. This is a checkbox that we added in Route Manager for this particular segment for the driver to choose whether or not they completed this segment. The driver can then choose to allow this pop-up to time out after 10 seconds. Or if the driver has a chance, he can select completed. If the driver selects not completed, the driver will receive a list of options to choose from, which we'll cover in this next following segment.
In 500 feet, turn right. Left side treatment.
Here I'm going to go ahead and add an obstruction as if there was a vehicle blocking my current segment. As soon as I add the obstruction, I will be rerouted around the obstruction. This obstruction will then be reported back to Route Manager.
In 450 feet, turn left, East Grove Street, then take the first right.
Again, here we have the confirmation pop-up. Now this time I'm going to go ahead and select not completed due to the obstruction. And you see here that I have the options to select blocking cars, road constructions, or a different reason. I'll go ahead and select blocking cars.
Turn right.
And this screen
Abbott
also
Street.
times out after about 4 seconds.
Turn left, East Harrison Avenue.
Here we're approaching our one-way street segment. And as I'm approaching the segment, I can see that the orange is highlighted on the right side of the road,
After the school on the left, turn left.
along with the street side icon indicating right side sweep, and the orange diamond icon at the beginning of the segment.
Turn left. Right side treatment. In 0.1 miles, turn left, Pamanas Street, then turn left at the end of the road. Turn left, Pamanas Street, then turn left.
Now I'm being guided via blue travel route to treat the left side of this one-way street.
In 0.1 miles, after the school on the left, turn left. Turn left. In 0.1 miles, turn right, Pamanas Street, then continue straight. Left side treatment.
Here you can see that our next segment starts in the middle of the road versus the beginning of the block, and this was done via map editor, where we can now choose the exact location where we want to begin the segment.
East Grove Street.
Here I'll go ahead and deviate from my segment, and you'll notice that the red checkered route will be guiding me back to the point of
Perform a
deviation.
U-turn when possible. Turn right, Pamanas Street. In 500 feet, turn right, East Grove Street. Right side treatment.
And here we come to our last segment.
Right side treatment.
Another nice feature that we added for RTR Broom is the leaf icon on the top right. Selecting the leaf icon will bring up 4 options: override mode, leave mode, dump mode, and end navigation, which is canceling the route. The driver can override their existing route. In cases where another driver needs assistance on a different route, or the driver sees an opening for a different route that's available to sweep for this current time frame. So I'll go ahead and select override mode. I can then search for the route manually by entering the name of the route, or I can search via distance to my current location. I can then navigate to a specific segment within that route. Selecting the leaf mode icon again will bring me back to my original route, to the start of the last segment where I left off.
In 0.1 miles, turn right, East Harrison Avenue, then take the first right.
Now I'll select the leaf icon once more. This time I will select leave mode. In leave mode, the route will become paused, allowing the driver to sweep freely back and forth as many times as needed without any guidance, TTS, or deviation markers from the RTR Broom software. Once the driver is ready to return to the route, the driver can then select the leaf icon once more and be guided back to the point where they left
0.3
off.
miles, turn left, Sumner Avenue, then take the first right. Turn right, East Harrison
And
Avenue,
lastly, we have
then turn left.
dump mode. Dump mode is the same concept as leaf mode, where the driver has the freedom to drive wherever they wish without being disturbed by the tablet or receiving any TTS or deviation alerts. Again, once the driver is ready to return to the route, the driver can then select the leaf icon once more and it will be guided back to the point where they left off. The only difference here between leaf mode and dump mode is the report back to Route Manager. All 3 override, dump mode, and leave mode will be reported back to the Route Manager what they selected and when they selected that mode. And here I'll skip ahead to our last segment.
Current route is
And
completed.
finally our route is complete. Now I'll go ahead and demonstrate how we created the route that we just completed using our Route Manager portal. So we found that creating a broom route is very different than creating a snow route or a stops route or really any route for that matter. Here we're going to create our route name, select our zone, our district, and that will generate its own route ID. We can then modify this and change it to whatever we desire. Now as I begin plotting the route, the actual geometry will match the areas that I'm plotting, such as dead ends, one-way streets, turn restrictions, and so on. So you'll notice that on the left side here, we have a list of items. One of them is type. So we have a list of types to choose from: meters open, meters restricted, and so on. We also have our selection to choose right side sweep or left side sweep. We have our time frames. I'll go ahead and select 10 a.m. to, let's say, 12:30. We also have this checkbox to select Finish Confirm, and this will display wherever we want it to display at the end of the segment. So if we want the driver to confirm that they've completed the segment, we'll go ahead and select this checkbox, and they'll receive a pop-up to select completed or not completed. And here we have special guidance, which allows up to 50 characters. And this will be added as part of the maneuver guidance. So you can add items such as reminders or anything you wish, as long as it's up to 50 characters. And then we also have a special TTS. Special TTS can be announced at certain locations throughout the segment. For example, if you need to add special guidance such as, sweep multiple times or multiple passes, whatever the case may be, and this can be up to 150 characters. I'll go ahead and leave that blank for now. Now, once you complete creating your route, you can then save the route and select this little airplane icon here to release the route to all the tablets. Here's an example on how the route would look once it's fully completed in a more realistic environment. And lastly, we'll briefly touch on Route Manager report and cleaning status. Quick look at some of the reports that were generated from our current route. So here we have the task ID along with the task percentage completed, the device serial number. Now under cleaning status, it'll give us a more kind of detailed look on what exactly we just finished. So here's the area that we first started on. We'll get a detailed look at what was done for this segment. So here we have confirm, not completed, and the reason, blocking cars due to the obstruction that we added. We also have a lot of useful information, the assigned time, the start time, the finish time, the block type, block start time, block finish time, the unit ID or the unit serial number, the side to sweep for this particular segment, along with other useful information. Now we'll move on to a different segment here. We have the obstacles that we added via the vehicle counter or the parking violation counter. We added 2, so it displays obstacles as 2. We also have the double parked car obstruction that was reported on our segment. So this was reported back to Route Manager with a automatic default time to expire after 1 hour. It can be changed to several hours, a week, really depending on how long that obstruction will be present on that roadway. I have a more detailed report for each task. Each type will have their own accumulated distance as well as percentage completed, and it will then be calculated as a total for that specific route or task. There are still a lot of areas related to reporting that we won't be able to cover in this video, but hopefully that gives you an idea of what we've done so far for RTR Broom on the Route Manager side. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the demo.